Yes, you read that title correctly. Kiss is back on the charts in 2025. That and more on this week's episode. Welcome to the Kiss Army Things Podcast, episode 127. You're back with Xander and Daphne sitting around the table talking all things Kiss. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I tell you what, I am in a really good mood right now.
Good.
The weather is so
It's
good.
amazing.
It's finally warming
up. It's like
up.
over 50 degrees here, which is we have not seen in months.
Yeah, no, and I know it's not going to stick around for long, but it's funny because anybody who lives in the Midwest knows that one day, let's see, last week it was what, -2?
That was awful.
And then today it's 58.
Yeah.
And next week it's going to be 112. There is no in between here in the Midwest. It really is like that.
But you got to really appreciate these beautiful days when you get them because you don't know how long it's going to last. So yes, it is very nice out. Our cats have been very happy to be back outside in the sun.
Yes, and I'm very glad to be back with you guys talking about Kiss. And I tell you what, because this is so weird, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this first.
Okay.
Kiss being on the charts, because you're aware of this,
Somewhat,
just not
yeah.
the specifics.
Okay.
And where they're charting and why and all that. And so, honestly, it was kind of a rabbit hole for me because I was like, oh, this article in Forbes, Kiss is back in the charts, and then, it was this rabbit hole that just never ended, and so I thought, wow, Kiss being on Billboard charts in 2025 was not on my bingo card.
Yeah.
So I thought, why don't we talk about this on the show, even before we do the Kiss Spotlight.
Okay.
So I Was Made for Loving You, of course.
Obviously.
Is the song that charted. And I feel like that's the song that's always going to chart nowadays. Yeah. We talked about how it's been a switch in the last 5-10 years. I Was Made for Loving You is the new king as far as Kiss songs. Yeah. Well, just to further cement that, I Was Made for Loving You appears on the rock digital song sales charts.
Okay.
Billboard, so song sales. That means people are buying the song.
It.
At number 9.
I don't know anybody bought songs digitally anymore,
People
but that's good.
are still buying songs, at least enough for I Was Made for Loving You to appear at number 9.
Nice.
On the rock digital song sales chart. This is their first top 10 on those specific charts.
Okay, cool.
So obviously Kiss, they're a 70s band, right? Most of their catalog, most of their fan base buys albums, vinyl, CDs, but I don't know who they are, but apparently there's enough of an audience now that's buying them digitally.
That's great.
And so we have Kiss making their first appearance on the rock digital song sales charts at number 9. I did some research to figure out if they had charted at all, because this is their first top 10. Well, had they ever appeared at all? It turns out Hell or Hallelujah, I'm assuming when it first came out, reached 39.
Okay.
Which is a modest,
top 50.
30, that's top 50,
yeah.
Sure. And then Beth at some point, I don't know when Beth was. I'm assuming Hell or Hallelujah was when Monster was coming out.
That makes sense, yeah.
The summer when they were on the tour promoting it. But Beth at some point, maybe it was because of Resurrected. I don't know. Could have been the Destroyer box set, but it reached 43.
Okay.
So you have 39, 43, and then here, I Was Made for Loving You shoots up at number 9.
9,
and,
wow.
That's not the only place where it charted.
Okay.
It charted again. I Was Made for Loving You also charted on the Hard Rock digital song sales chart.
Funny.
So they've taken over both of these charts.
Yeah.
The rock and the hard rock digital song sales, which is funny because I Was Made for Loving You really isn't
it is not a hard rock
the
song.
most hard rock Kiss song, except for when it's live.
Right. So true.
When it's played live,
oh, it's way heavier.
it becomes one of those songs where you could almost headbang to it.
Yeah.
Cold Jam's another one, but Cold Jam's obviously a little bit harder than I Was Made for Loving You anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, cool. I Was Made for Loving You, top 10 on the charts. No, it turns out it's also on the Hard Rock Digital Songs sales charts, shooting from number 8 to number 2.
My gosh.
So it was already also in the top 10, but before, I think this was like the January 19th song. So this is 2025. This is very recent, happening now. Went from number 8 to number 2. This was the January 18th list, excuse me.
I'm interested about, I'm not surprised that this is happening, and to some extent, but why now in January and not, did it not chart a few months ago when it was in Fall Guy? Or is this just like a slow result of that?
I think there's a lot going into this.
Okay.
And I think that might be part of it.
Yeah.
There's also another appearance that I Was Made for Loving You made a feature in that I'm going to get to in a minute.
Okay.
But yes, I do think it is the direct result of there being some sort of corporate tie-in, which I hate corporations like most people do, but at the same time, when done correctly, it's really good at getting things out there, boosting things. And so, yeah, you had Fall Guy. You had also King Kong, which we still haven't watched. About that. Was it King Kong or Godzilla? Or was it Kong versus Godzilla? One of those?
It might be the one with both, yeah.
Yeah, so...
one of the ones with Millie Bobby Brown in it.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it, but I did hear that it made an appearance there.
Yes.
But it was just crazy to see it shooting up from number 8 to number 2, which, again, I wanted to do some research and figure out what else was going on there. Turns out that this is now tied for Kiss's top performing song on this chart, because I mentioned Hallelujah Hallelujah on the rock digital song sales charts. Well, Hallelujah Hallelujah also reached number 2 back in 2012.
Okay.
So in 2025, Kiss is now tied their 2012 song with a 78 song.
That's crazy.
For number 2, which again I thought it was crazy that Kiss was back on the charts. And doing some further research, realized that they had never reached that number 1 on the song sales charts. So, I mean, yes, they're on the charts, but they haven't gotten that number 1 spot yet.
Number 2 is crazy, though.
They did reach number 1 on a different chart, though.
Oh, what chart?
This is in 2024. So, Kiss reached number 1 on Billboard's top TV songs charts of 2024. Number 1.
Top
with
TV?
I Was Made for Loving You. Yeah, right? TV.
Was it a TV show?
It was. Right at the tail end, I think in December of 2024. I Was Made for Loving You was featured in the Marvel TV show, What If.
Oh, okay.
And we heard about this.
I was going to say, I do feel like we heard about this.
Still haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, because there's so much happening. But because of that got Kiss the number 1 spot.
Nice.
On the last issue, the last,
last chart.
The last chart of 2024 on the TV charts.
That's so cool.
And so to hear Kiss number 1 on the charts, number 2 in the top 10, I was like, this is bewildering. But yes, so the reason why Kiss did get number 1 on that chart is because of the Marvel tie-in. And I think it also had to do with the song sales charts as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that TV chart was December, and then these other things we're seeing, the rock digital song sales, is January. So yeah, I think this is a direct result of it being included in the Marvel TV show. Mm-hmm. Although I wouldn't be surprised if, the Fall Guy and the other stuff was, still playing a part.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're asking, okay, well, if it reached number 1, what does it actually mean? It means 8.6 million streams in December alone, just in the U.S. Just in the U.S.
How many?
8.6 million. And again, last year it reached the 1 billion mark.
Right.
Which we thought was a huge milestone. And okay, great. Well, here it is. We're tacking on millions and millions in just 1 month.
Yeah.
And streams are obviously different than sales, but Kiss is hitting both right now.
Yeah.
And it's because of these tie-ins. So I think it's going to be imperative in 2025 and beyond that cool stuff like this keeps happening.
Yeah.
I think sometimes at the Detroit Lions games or some of the Detroit sports games, you can still hear Detroit Rock City being played. And of course, that's a part of...
Makes perfect sense.
It's a part of the city at this point. You know what I mean? That's a part of the city's culture. And so that's really cool. And so I like seeing some of these things. Again, I Was Made for Loving You is the weird choice. I wouldn't use I Was Made... Me personally, I wouldn't use I Was Made for Loving You in King Kong and Godzilla. But... Hey, if it works, it works. I would use it on Fall Guy. I think it worked in Fall Guy.
It works perfect in Fall Guy.
And here's the thing about the Marvel show. Because the episode that it was used in, the episode of What If, it was called Howard the Duck Gets Hitched. Which, getting hitched is a term for getting married.
Right.
Guess who the character got married to in this What If?
Who?
What's her name? Oh... Kat Jennings or whatever. It's the girl from Kat
Dennings
from Two Broke Girls.
Her character
in
from Thor.
Yeah. Gets married to Howard the Duck.
Well, that whole show, that is the whole point.
I know.
Every scenario is ridiculous. They just are mixing different...
But that scenario just seemed...
so silly.
Unnecessary.
But that does feel like an intentional Kiss tie.
Why is that, babe?
Because weren't they first featured in the Howard the Duck comic?
Yes, this is the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so Kiss, number 1 on the charts, Celebration. They're in Marvel 2025, Celebration. But yes, I wonder if there was somebody behind the scenes who knew that
I hope
Howard
so.
the Duck, one of the comics, I think it was 12 and 13, if you want to reach up behind the Blood comic there. I think it's just a few behind it. I actually did get last year both issues of Howard the Duck 12 and 13. But you don't have to get it then. Don't worry about it. No, it's all right. No, it's all right. Anyway, they were featured in Howard the Duck 12 and 13. And that just feels like a tie-in because all hardcore Kiss fans know that that's where Kiss made their first appearance in a comic book, not the Blood comic,
right?
In Howard the Duck. And then, of course, Howard the Duck getting hitched. It's using a love song by Kiss. So it just felt, it didn't feel like a coincidence, right?
Yeah, it felt full circle.
It felt full circle. It
and
felt
also,
intentional.
I just want to say it's very interesting to have Kiss and Marvel have any sort of collaboration in 2025 because that gives me a little bit of hope for,
I would love to see
maybe
some
something
superhero
cool.
Kiss.
Yeah.
Do you remember a couple years ago there was the Kiss Marvel brand merger where they had T-shirts and a little bit of merchandise that had like Marvel with the Hulk, Wolverine, and Kiss on it?
No.
You didn't see that?
What?
For sure. I might pull this up real quick because
That doesn't sound familiar at all.
a couple years ago there were some Marvel Kiss shirts released. It was almost kind of random, but it was very, very cool. Let me look up Kiss Marvel T-shirts official and see if that yields like any results. Yeah, right here. So look at this.
Whoa.
You've got Kiss on top in their 70s gear with Wolverine and the Hulk, Black Panther down on bottom. So
it's like random but so cool. I love it.
How cool is that? And it's official merch too.
That's a cool T-shirt.
So maybe I should get that.
I was gonna say I would wear that shirt.
I wish it was like Iron Man and Thor,
right?
Because God of Thunder and Tony Stark and just,
yeah,
awesome. But either way, still cool that it was being done. And yes, it makes me hope that there's stuff like that happening. In the future. Anyway, so thank you guys for just listening to that because again, I saw an article on Forbes. And then I saw another one on Billboard, and then here comes the Marvel What If stuff, and so it was like, I want to just talk about that.
Yeah.
Before the spotlight. So I Was Made for Loving You is the overall spotlight celebration. It's on 3 different Billboard charts.
That's amazing.
In both 2024 and 2025. So that was just really cool. But now, yes, let's go ahead and get to the regular Kiss spotlight.
Yes.
Because there is something very specific that you and I have been diving into. Sometimes we do our own thing, our own, albums or whatever. But we actually sat and watched a little bit of Kiss Rocks Vegas recently.
Actually, like most of it. We sat down to watch a little bit of it and like could not skip a song. We were like, oh dang it, this is too good.
It was too good.
We were like just one more, and then the next one after that was too fire.
yeah, and we went in specifically wanting to watch, and we did, the acoustic set.
Yes.
Because I feel like that doesn't get as much love as the overall album and the show. Of course, the big production, the makeup, the full stage production is really cool, but what they captured with that was, obviously, Kiss's acoustic VIP segments, which they didn't do forever, and they did a soundcheck experience, so they captured that moment in history, but they captured Kiss's music.
Oh my gosh, they sounded incredible.
Because, as we all know, a good song is only a good song if it can be played on acoustic guitar.
Yes.
If it don't sound good on acoustic and a cappella vocals, then you ain't got a good song. And every single one, go look at Unplugged, every single one of Kiss's songs translates so beautifully to acoustic.
I had like goosebumps like 5 times watching that.
They did not show that in the theater when we saw Kiss Rocks Vegas. It was just the makeup performance. They did tack on that little 15-minute documentary beforehand, which was really cool. But yeah, so that was something that you only got if you bought the DVD or you had the bonus disc. Mm-hmm. There's a bonus audio disc that came with Kiss Rocks Vegas that included, how many songs do you think it was? Like maybe 6, 8?
I would say 7 or 8.
Yeah, 7 or 8, songs that they don't usually play in the live set, but they did in the acoustic set. And yeah, absolutely brilliant. Paul even said beforehand, what album starts off, or what song starts off Kiss Unplugged? Everyone's like, Coming home. You're right, Coming Home. And then it sounds like 95.
It sounded amazing.
And of course, it is Gene, Paul, Eric.
Right.
It's just Tommy instead of Bruce, but Tommy and Bruce are both killer guitar players. So Tommy's guitar playing. It's crazy how well Tommy and Bruce can play on acoustic.
On acoustic guitar.
With them thick strings that are real tough to bend.
Oh my gosh, they shred on them.
And
it's beautiful.
They tear it up. It was so awesome.
The sound of an acoustic guitar, especially when played the way they play it, is like one of the prettiest things in the world.
Yeah, and Eric Singer on his little itty bitty kit.
Yeah, tearing it up. What song was it that he was just going nuts
Blind.
on? Yes.
Going Blind.
Going Blind was one of the best ones.
It was.
Oh, it was incredible. I don't know why, but it just fit that vibe so well. Musically, they all sounded so good. Gene's vocals were
perfect. Probably better here than they were on Unplugged.
Paul sounded incredible as well.
Paul sounded amazing.
Like, perfect.
He was singing Hard Luck Woman. It was cool to hear Paul.
That was very cool.
Singing Hard Luck Woman. And there was another one that they did that really surprised you. Love Her All I Can.
Yes, I was like, what?
That was towards the end.
Up until that point, it had been not all, but mostly songs that are also found on Unplugged. So like you're kind of used to the acoustic arrangement of it. But as soon as he said Love Her All I Can, I was like, what? That's awesome.
That song, I'm so glad. That must have been a Tommy and Eric inclusion because that song sounds so good every time they play it. Whether it was the Kiss Cruise, whether it was acoustic.
Yeah, it was never played enough.
They didn't play it when we saw them during Soundcheck, though, did they? See, that was one that I was kind of hoping that we saw them when we saw them in Dayton because it's so good. I understand why it's not played live in the set because it wasn't a single. It's not a big hit. No one's going to know it, but you made a good comment about how Beatlesque it is.
Yeah, I was actually about to say that. That, yes, that song specifically, like, first of all, that made me realize how Beatley that song is to begin with when it's more stripped back. And they were all doing harmonies.
Yes.
Like, Eric and Tommy were also singing, and the harmonies were so, so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Kiss singing together is fantastic, and I feel like they lived up to what Kiss is, which is a heavy metal Beatles.
Yes.
And you listen to Love Her All I Can from Dress to Kill, and it's like, that's...
Yeah, like change that arrangement a little bit to put it back in the 60s, and like that could be a Beatles song.
Yeah.
Like just the way that it's written, I don't know what, like it could be on like Hard Day's Night or Help or something, like early Beatles.
You mentioned Help and how that sounds like Help a little bit.
That's so cool.
It's a fantastic song, and there was no cowbell on this version because Eric's using a little bitty kit, but it didn't matter because he was still tearing it up, and Tommy, like we said earlier, was just getting some real mileage out of that acoustic guitar. But so what were some of the other songs they played? Because it was Coming Home, they played, we said Going Blind, Love Her All I Can. There was also
Plaster
Caster. Beth was the last one, which was beautiful.
Yes. Oh, the guitar solo on that was really cool.
Yeah, Tommy added a really nice, bluesy, real tender, sweet sounding guitar solo.
Yeah, because obviously, usually in the full production, it's like an orchestra, like during that instrumental. Yeah, during that instrumental part. But since they didn't have that, it was just this gorgeous guitar solo I had never heard before. That was so, so good.
Yeah, the whole performance was fantastic. And again, this was us trying to stick to just that.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, why don't we just watch a little bit of the actual performance, the full performance. And I don't know. I mean, obviously I've been a Kiss fan my whole life, but there is something about seeing them in the makeup.
Yeah.
In the costume, especially after watching and hearing them just a normal, out of makeup, out of costume, sitting down, acoustic. Here they are standing up, running around, energetic, full production makeup and pyro.
Especially knowing that like could have been the same day. Like I know they recorded the actual concert, 2 nights in a row at least.
There were 2 shows at certain points that
are pieced together. That's normal, but like at least for part of that, like that was filmed on the same day.
Yeah.
And like a lot of those same people in the crowd. And I'm so sorry, but there was in the acoustic thing, there was this adorable little girl, like 4 years old probably, with the big like protective headphones on, and there were people were calling, even though they weren't really taking requests, people were calling out songs.
You know how Kiss always says they're taking requests, but they're really just like
At one point Paul was like, how about we play whatever we want?
Someone goes, I forget what they said, but how about Paul says, how about we pick the songs, damn it.
It was so funny.
It was so funny.
But Jean saw this adorable little girl and like pointed to her, and so they like gave the mic to her, and she was like, shout it out loud.
Shout it out loud. And Jean cracked up.
Cute.
And Paul's like, is she coming to the show? Yep. Well, we'll play that for you tonight.
We'll play it tonight.
That was a nice little moment. And of course they did.
Yeah, of course.
It was in the set towards the end, actually. But so we were like, why don't we just go ahead and pop into the full show?
Right.
And something about just seeing them in the makeup, in the costumes, monster costumes, which are
my gosh,
favorite.
It looks so good.
Which are my favorite.
So high def too.
So high def, the Blu-ray, and then I will never get over the set list.
Oh my gosh, banger after banger.
It was one of the best sets ever. And I can't help but think that it was like intentionally done that way because it was like we have to come out balls to the
it
wall.
was so high energy. We were like 5 songs in. I don't even know, but like
Yeah,
at least 5 songs in before we like slowed the pace down even a little bit.
You're 100% correct. The first song was Detroit Rock City.
Yep.
And then Creatures.
Creatures of the Night.
And then Psycho Circus.
Uh-huh.
And then Parasite.
What?
And then War Machine.
Yeah.
And then Tears Are Falling,
Yes.
which is
the first like
which is
slightly slower song.
Yeah. Also the first time you hear it on a live album at all.
Yeah, and that was awesome.
So first time probably being played since the Rock the Nation tour 10 years prior.
It was so good. It was the perfect point to slow down a little bit, and the light show was so cool for that.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic.
I think the only other song we watched, I think after that, I was like, okay, I'm going to skip now to, I think, Hell or Hallelujah. I wanted to hear Hell or Hallelujah played live, which was, of course, fast, heavy. I love seeing, the current Kiss play their own material and just rip it apart. That song, Hell or Hallelujah, has grown on me a lot.
Yeah.
When Jeb and I did our 10-year Monster anniversary, we both kind of agreed that while it is a good song, and it was, single worthy, it was not the best song on the album.
Right.
It's okay. The song is fantastic. I mean, and I don't know what's really changed other than just really appreciating some of the parts that Tom and Eric are bringing, like one heart is breaking, bum 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 bum, like that. Just those little things that Kiss does in their music. It goes back to like Cold Gin. There's just moments in Kiss's music that just stick with you. And Kiss Rocks Vegas, they had all those moments.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, the solo in Detroit Rock City, the solo in Creatures, the solo in Psycho Circus, those all just take you on a journey. And Kiss Rocks Vegas was just the ultimate journey.
So much energy too. Like it was so we were kind of talking about like, and this is no criticism whatsoever. Obviously they got older. Like that's just what happened.
It's been 10 years.
Yes, but it was like crazy having gotten so used to the vibe of the End of the Road tour, which was incredible. But going back 10 years and seeing them 10 years younger, Paul's still jumping around. Not as much as he did, but like way more than, he didn't really on End of the Road at all.
No. That was 2014 was the last time that he was actually like jumping in the air, doing like the heel flip, whatever, and coming down on his knees, the rock stars.
Yep.
2014 was like the last
Gene was
era.
kicking his knees up real high.
Like they were into it.
Yeah,
and
they were so energetic.
Again, End of the Road tour was great.
Right.
End of the Road tour was fine, but they said themselves, we want to leave the stage before we get over that hump. And so you can see where the End of the Road tour was like, this is
They're
perfect.
on the hump.
They're on the hump. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Because Kiss Rocks Vegas was just, it was blistering, blistering fast. It was heavy. It was rock and roll. It was awesome. And I can't believe it's been 10 years since it was recorded. Next year will be 10 years since the release. Expect a full review coming on the channel for that.
Yes.
But we'll let that be its own thing. But so we wanted to just do a little quick spotlight there for Kiss Rocks Vegas. Is there anything else you need to mention about Kiss Rocks Vegas? I don't think so, just because
I can think of.
it was freaking awesome. So that's pretty much the episode. I really wanted to just talk about Kiss being back on the charts, and then of course talk about some of the things that we've been listening to recently. Having said that, though, I do have a lot of Kiss stuff to show today. Get ready for the biggest Collector's Corner this year so far. I know it's only January, but January has been it so far. It keeps... Look at her. She's giving me the look like, what are you doing?
I'm trying not to.
No, I know. But it is kind of... But you were there when I got some of this stuff, and you know how cool it is, and how good of a deal I'm always able to get. And I just work my magic until I get what I want. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get into some stuff here. You guys know I'm always adding stuff to my collection, and I love showing it here with you guys. There's no shortage of awesome Kiss stuff. Even as a collector in 2025, who's been collecting for almost 20 years, there's just countless stuff out there. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to this one real quick, which I will admit is a bit of a impulse purchase. I think I admitted this to you, so this was a little bit of an impulse purchase, but still really cool, really neat. I'm going to try and get it open, although I do have the Kiss knife on deck if needed. But I think I've got it. Okay, here we go. So these are the bracelets from the last two shows in New York City.
Yep.
They had these little bracelets that you got that were on your seat, and then you put them on your wrist, and then they would light up during the show. This right here is December 1st. This one right here is December 2nd. Unfortunately, the thing with these is that a lot of folks had issues where they went to the shows and noticed that there were people going around stealing others off of the seats.
See, I don't think that was a good system to put them on seats.
I don't think it was a good system
at Taylor
at all.
Swift, when you walk in, because she's done that forever.
This is where they got it from. 100% guarantee when Paul went to see her, he said, "That's
we're
cool.
doing that.
That's Kiss. We're doing that."
That's something, and that was something special that they. I mean, that wasn't done anywhere but New York, was it? So don't even tell me they didn't do anything different because that's different.
That was just a New York thing.
But yeah, for Taylor Swift, every time you go in, like, as soon as you go through security, there's somebody handing out bracelets.
So there was a person designated there.
A person giving it to you so that you have it right away.
Yeah, that would have been a better system because, I mean, from what I've heard, again, we weren't there in New York, so if you want to correct me, please do.
I have heard that as well.
But I heard that people would walk and they would see somebody with like 20 or 30 in their hands.
Ridiculous.
And then you wake up the next day on December 3rd and there's 20 or 30 on eBay being sold for like $40, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got 2 cool bracelets. Obviously, they're dead, I'm assuming, because they're not lighting up.
Yeah, well, because people...
The slip.
Yeah, there's a little plastic tab that goes in that, like, if you think about it, you can save it, so you can put it back in at the end of the concert, and then theoretically it should still work. I have 2, both of mine from my Taylor Swift shows.
Nice.
And the first one from, like, almost 2 years ago still works. The second one, I could never get it to shut off. I kept the tab,
and
I put it back in, and it would not stop lighting up, so I just had to let it die.
I remember that.
But my one from 2023 still works.
That's cool, though. At least you have both.
Yeah.
At least you have both. Yeah, so, again, I wasn't there in New York, so I just kind of bought it just because.
It's cool, though. The straps are so cool.
The straps are neat. If you want to hold one, you can. Yeah,
the straps that fancy.
The straps are very fancy. They almost have they're not like glowing, but they do have like a nice...
They have a nice, like, sheen.
A nice sheen to them. Yeah, that's a good word to say. Madison Square Garden, December 2nd, the final concerts. Crazy. But really cool. So, yeah, I'm going to put that one there. And if you want to put that one over there, you can. Also, with this was a merch lot. Merch lots are kind of my thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I like going on eBay and seeing a bunch of Kiss stuff listed in one listing for... one convenient price, and so somebody in New York decided to sell their 2 bracelets as well as a Kiss Metro card.
Yep.
Now, we were given 3 Metro cards by our friend Darius already, so this is just some more added fun to the Kiss fun here. But I will say that if you look right there, what's the date when it expires?
Today,
yes.
For us, while we're filming.
January 31st, 2025 is when the Kiss New York City Metro card.
To use this Metro
this
card.
is your last chance to get the ride. Sorry, anyway. But yeah, there you go. So if you're in New York and you need a ride and you have Metro card, this is your last time. This is your last chance to use it. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's funny.
It is kind of funny. Love the blue lightning. It's very similar to... Nope, that was red lightning. Never mind. Still cool, though. So there is the first 3 items in this week's Collector's Corner. Let's go ahead now and move on to this one. Let me open up this one real quick. A whole slew of Kiss pens.
Oh my god.
A whole slew of Kiss pens. So you bought me 2.
I got you 2 for
Never
Christmas.
enough. Never enough. That's 2 Kiss references so far.
Are you already going through them with your journaling?
So the thing about it, I don't know if it's just because they're from 2008.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time, and these are kind of like...
Some of it might be a little dry.
Some of them a little dry, yeah. So the 2 that you bought me, they work, but only for about 5 minutes.
Really?
Until they dry out.
Yeah.
And so I switched to the other one until it dries out, and then switch back to the other one. So I have these. I
wonder if they've got like air pockets in between.
I mean, it very well could be. It could be air pockets. It could be just because they're drying out, or it's because I don't know. But they're from 2008, so I don't expect them to be the best. But 4 pens for $20. 4 Kiss pens, $20 on Kiss Army Warehouse. Shouldn't have said that because now they're going to know where to go. But yeah, so these are what I'm using for my Kiss journal.
Yep.
There's what I'm using from the Kiss calendar. We'll get to that in a minute. But I just wanted to make sure that I have enough stock of Kiss pens because my journal's going to need it.
Yeah.
I've been journaling in the Kiss journal.
We're only 1 month in.
We're only 1 month in, and when I get to writing, And so I don't want my pen to drying. So I've got 4 Kiss ink pens to take me through the rest of the year. That is the next item on the list. This one is a little bit of deja vu.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the Kiss knife out for this one. Thank you for putting up with me.
Of course.
Oh boy, let's see here. Oh, this one's in the package still. Sweet. Okay, so we have dun 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 another Kiss chain wallet. So I think last week I was talking about Kiss wallets and how I just got in a Kiss wallet and how they were becoming rather rare and expensive and hard to find. That night I went on eBay and found another one of these, which is actually the same one that I'm using right now.
Yep.
Which is not bad. I like it. This was one of the ones I wasn't excited to use because it wasn't overtly, as much overtly Kiss as the other ones, but I love it. It's great. It's fine. It's holding up quality-wise, which is really great. And so this one looks like retail used to be $15, and then I got it for $25.
That's not bad.
$25.
Wow.
And I was talking about how the other ones were going for that
like
one
$50.
that was going for this one right here. I saw one going for $70.
That is ridiculous.
Which is stupid. So
$70.
This one I think I got for $40, which is still a little high considering that back in the day it was probably same price, $15-$20. But in 2025 when the scarcity, is real, you get what you can take. And so, but $70 I wasn't going to pay that. So I let that one go. This one is $20, and then this one I got for $25. And then there was another one of those I just showed. Mm-hmm. I told you this, but I'm going to tell them because I'm a little bit salty about it. So this was an eBay auction that nobody bid on but me. So $25. There was another wallet, I think by the same seller. Maybe. I don't know. I could be getting that wrong because it wouldn't make sense if it was, and you'll see why. But either way, there was another Kiss wallet that I was bidding on that I was winning, and when I almost won, the listing was no longer there. It was taken down, presumably because the seller didn't like the final price, and so before it ended, they just took it down, no longer available, which it's their right as a seller.
But it's frustrating.
But it's frustrating and it's shady because you put it up for sale, you put it up for auction.
I feel like
I wanted it and I bid. I won it fair and square.
You set the starting price, and I feel like if you're not okay with getting that much and no more, then you shouldn't be putting it up for that price.
No, and you shouldn't be.
You can't guarantee it's going to go higher than that.
You shouldn't be pissy when it doesn't go for what you want, and so you take it down, and probably
try again later,
and probably relist it next week for more. And it's like, again, it's their right. So at the end of the day, it's my problem, not theirs. But it's also like, if you're going to sell it and put it up there, and like you said, it's your starting price, it's your auction.
Right.
Let somebody have it for the price that it's clearly going for.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to have somebody, if I had memorized that person's name.
You probably wouldn't go back.
I probably wouldn't go back unless they had something that, I really wanted. But a wallet, I do have a few wallets at this point. So
you got a good backstock for now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's nothing here near or there. But anyway, I was able to get this one. This is a Winterland wallet from, I think, around 2002, but I could be wrong on that date. Usually the date is listed in plain sight, but it's not in this case. But still, this will be a future wallet. And actually, I have a spot for it right there in the collection whenever I'm done. I've been rearranging some things around, kind of trying to work on displaying my collection. So
it's made a few changes.
Made a few changes. Yeah, exactly. So I'll have that one added. Are we done?
I don't know. Are we?
No. No, of course we're not. In fact, we are just getting started because I've got this. Let's take it up a notch, folks. This was appetizers, man. That was let's get to the main course. You're thinking vinyl. Nah.
That's what I was thinking.
It's not, but I will say it is vintage.
Ooh.
It is vintage. No more of the new stuff. How about an Animalized tour book
Whoa!
From 1984?
I didn't know you got
1985.
this.
Yeah, you did. You just forgot.
Really?
Yes, and I'll show you why in a minute.
I definitely forgot, but that's fine.
But yes, talk about something really, really cool.
Yeah.
So, I don't have a lot of vintage tour books. I don't know why they put tape. Oh, it's in the sleeve. Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
I was like, why did they put tape on this? Okay, so yeah, it's just it's in the sleeve.
Wow.
I'm gonna get the tape off of it though. I don't like that. But luckily, yes, it is in a protective sleeve. There's the back, which,
That's
well,
sick.
Of course, we all know the claws ripping through the paper.
Yep.
What great design. That is some great graphic design. But you'll notice there's a particular member on the front right there.
Yep.
Mark St. John. It is striking how few items I have. Well, I guess not really because he was only in the band for
yeah, it makes sense.
a small amount of time. But I don't have that many Mark St. John items. I have the 2 bumper stickers. Even my Animalized shirts feature Bruce on them.
Yep.
I do have the White Tiger autographed cassette tape with a White Tiger pick that's signed by Mark St. John. And of course I have Animalized themselves with the photos. But this is the tour book, man, that features Mark on the front. So I'm really happy to have this. Cool. I do want to, even though it is taped.
It's like folded over on the back.
It's folded, yeah. This guy, thank you. He folded it. He taped it. He made sure it was protected to the best of its ability, which, of course, I appreciate. Also, I appreciate the fact that I got this for so cheap. Usually, these tour books can get pretty high in price, and I found that, I'm not even going to say how much I found this one for, because I'll get robbed. It's crazy. I robbed that guy, if you ask me, but no. So here's the tour book. It's got a landscape cover, but I'm pretty sure it's still...
originally inside.
Yeah, so there you go. So this was the image that was photoshopped with Bruce after Mark's departure, but there's the original back cover to Animalize right there. Let's see here.
Wow.
Look at this shot right here from the Heavens on Fire music video.
That is awesome.
With Mark St. John. I've never looked through this tour book before in my life.
So cool.
So this is cool. Oh, we even have some on the side here. Some other outtakes. You got Eric Carr looking awesome there. Paul Stanley. I mean, really,
what's the tattoo?
What's the point of life if we're not living? I want to get and give all I can. Well, get all you can take. That's the song on the album. Cool shots of Paul. I like that shot right there. There's a similar shot of Paul like that, but in his monster outfit.
Okay, yeah.
That's
familiar.
Really cool. That's a cool photo of Paul right there. Huh, I like that. Very cool. So, yeah, awesome photos here. I think there should even be a page just dedicated to Gene's freaking huge tongue. There should be a page dedicated to just Mark St. John, but here's the centerfold with the group shot right there.
That's awesome.
Beautiful shot right there. Let's see, Eric Carr, the man, and
there it is.
So we have one page for Mark right there.
Close up of the hand. I love all the close up body parts. It's so random. We had Eric's eye.
And then there's the shot right there.
That's awesome.
The page of Mark St. John. So, yeah, that is really, really cool. It means a lot to me. I love all the members. I don't care how long they were in or not in the band. This is a very unique era in Kiss, and so I'm really glad to have.
That's a very cool find.
Such a vintage tour book. I think this is the earliest tour book I have now. So, that's really cool. Unfortunately, we're not done. Because just today, I went to Walmart to get some ink.
Yep.
And I came back with, speaking of Animalize, I found it.
No way!
I finally found it.
Oh my gosh!
So this Animalize t-shirt is being sold right now at Walmart. Now, it is
for
2024.
Toddlers.
It is 2024. It's not 2025. I was looking for that 2.5, baby. I need that 2.5. But I found a Kiss Animalize short.
I'm so annoyed because this is so cool. And it's for toddlers.
That was the biggest size they had for a 5-year-old. The smallest they had was for a 5-month-old, something like that.
That is so cool, and it is it's like one of those shirts that's made to look kind of vintage.
You know what's funny?
That is awesome.
Hold that for a minute and let me find something real quick.
I want an adult size of this so bad.
I want to do a fun little thing here. So this one looks to be like the smallest one. So that in 2024 is a youth.
It's a toddler
5T, yeah. Toddler 5T shirt. This doesn't have the tag. But look at this concert.
That is tiny.
Look at this concert shirt.
They're almost the same. It's so cool,
This is a concert shirt that was sold on the concert for an adult, for a teenager, and then this is a 5T shirt at Walmart. And of course, this is shrunk.
I was going to say, it's shrunk, and to be fair, that's like a muscle tee style, so it's probably meant to be tight.
It's probably meant to be tight.
This is meant to be like a baggy t-shirt.
Yeah.
So still.
Just wide.
Man, very cool. I'm so glad you found that.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook, I should be smart about this and put the smaller shirt in the smaller bag. Anyway, yeah, I saw on I saw on Facebook in some of the groups where people were posting about the Animalized shirt at Walmart. and saying it was new, which I guess it still is.
Yeah.
On the newer side, but I was thinking it was 2025.
Yeah.
So I kind of didn't realize that, but I don't care. It's still cool. I'm still adding to the 2024 collection in 2025. Smells like an old basement right there.
Yep.
That just smells vintage.
Oh yeah.
That just smells.
Just smells musty.
Like your grandma's basement right there. That's how I would describe that. So let's get all this packaged up. I think that is it.
Okay.
I think
Finally.
that is it. Yes, the bracelets, the Metro card, the wallet,
the pens,
the shirt, the tour book, and the shirt. So that is Xander's Collector's Corner this week. As usual, I have a whole bunch of stuff to put up after we're done filming. But that's just the way it goes. That's just part of the fun. That's part of the KISS fun, including the KISS calendar.
Oh, true, yes.
Which is our kind of our new thing that we're doing just to keep track of all the fun that we're having. But this week's is actually, it's kind of on point. It's relevant this week because we're talking about Animalize.
Uh-huh.
Guess whose birthday is on February 7th?
Who?
Mark St. John.
Perfect.
Mark St. John's birthday is February 7th, so we're no longer in January. Yep. We are in February now.
Oh, let me see the picture.
Yes. Sure knows something.
That is awesome.
It is awesome. So we are going to, on February 7th, mark down Mark St. John's birthday.
Mark it down.
Mark it down.
Mark down Mark.
Mark down Mark. So we're going to be marking down Mark St. John's 69th birthday. And then also on... Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
What?
I was about to mark down KISS's first album.
Is it already on there?
It's already there.
Oh, cool.
On the KISS calendar.
So this KISS calendar actually has some historical things on it.
See, I didn't go through and look at that stuff.
No, we haven't really looked ahead.
Because I'm kind of marking it as we go.
Yeah.
I was about to mark that KISS's first album was released today on February 18th, 74, and it's already marked.
That's awesome.
Which I like how it's marked on the 18th because everybody always says it's the 8th.
Yeah.
Because that's what got published somewhere back in 1980.
Right.
I think on accident, but I'm pretty sure the Library of Congress says it was released on the 18th. Which doesn't really make any sense. Which
obviously this official calendar agrees with that.
Which I don't make sense because it's on a Tuesday. Well, that wasn't Tuesday back in the day. Never mind, that's stupid. So yeah, that's really cool. They actually marked it on the freaking calendar, so I don't even have to. I'll do it on screen for everybody else, but that just kind of really surprised me there. I guess I can save my ink.
Yep.
There we go. Perfect. So yeah, that's it for the KISS calendar. Just Mark St. John's birthday, which I think will have been celebrated by the next episode. So yeah, we will just call that for the KISS calendar this week, and we'll check in next time. In the meantime, thank you everybody for watching another episode of the KISS Army Things podcast. I want to, as we're wrapping up, give a special shout out to the KISS Army Things patrons, and I want to explain how you can also become a member of our Patreon. There is a link in the description. It's $5 a month. It is the best way that you can directly support us. On the Patreon, we upload exclusive videos, extended videos of some of the videos we do here on YouTube, all kinds of bonus videos, bonus content. And I've been trying to think of new ways in 2025 to elevate and take it to the next level. And so what I've come up with is the KISS Army Things newsletter.
Oh, yeah.
The first issue is already up on Patreon. The second issue is going to be going up, I think, next week or... Well, this coming week or the next week. So if you want to, now is the best time to become a patron. You can even do a 7-day free trial, so you can actually just log in and see everything without actually committing. Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to, yeah, check out the free trial. Look at check out the new issue of the newsletter. January 31st is today. We were talking about how it was the anniversary or the last day to use the Metro card. Yeah. It's also the anniversary of when Eric Singer was announced as the Catman for the first time.
Okay.
KISS also played at the Super Bowl back in '99 on this day, 31st, and they also started the End of the Road tour on January 31st.
Wow, really?
And you would know that if you had a copy of the newsletter because I have This Month in KISStory, which lists important dates in KISStory for each month. Also, any new KISS merch that's coming out. I talk about some of the upcoming things that you can expect from KISS Army Things. And the next issue that I'm uploading, the February issue, is going to be two-sided.
Ooh, cool.
The patrons really loved this idea. They responded to it, and a couple of them said that they were going to print them out and add them to their collection. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And in February's issue, I'm going to make it two-sided and have an activity section where for those that do print it out, you can actually mark on it, write on it. It'll have some sort of activity. February will be a Kiss fan word search.
Nice.
So if you want, you can get on the fun for that. And we also have a special patron of the month. The first Patreon subscriber ever was Rex. It only made sense that Rex Cat was the very first patron of the month. So if you are subscribed, you can expect to, at some point, see your name on the patron of the month, but only if you're subscribed. So if you want to get some more Kiss Army Things fun, head over to the Patreon, subscribe. You won't be disappointed. This is the kind of fun that you can expect. But I'm just trying to find ways to make being a Kiss fan even more exciting, even more fun than it already has been. And so I really appreciate anybody who joins us on this show. Leave your comments on what you've been collecting, if you've been collecting. And the reason why is because the next episode is going to be very special. I'm actually bringing on two guests, Pasquale and Claudio. Both hosts from the Kiss Army Nation podcast are going to join me for the second edition of the Collectors Conference. Ooh. We're going to be getting... I had this started with Rick a couple months ago. Yep. I'm bringing Pasquale and Claudio on to, again, talk about the past, the present, and the future of Kiss collecting now that we're, post end of the road. It's like, what's it going to look like? How are we feeling? Where are we at as collectors? And so I want everybody out there, collections, big or small, collectors, young and old, to join the conversation, join the fun. But that'll be next time. This time was mostly just about, again, Kiss being on the charts, talking about Kiss Rocks Vegas, and showing a whole lot of Kiss stuff. So, again, very quick episode today, but I do thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next time on episode 128 on the Collectors Conference 2. Until then, my name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
You guys be safe, peace out, and rock on.